One of the things that I did see, though, and this disappoints me and hurts me to my core, it looks like they're getting rid of the e-bug. That's the emergency backup goaltender, which
Wow.
has created some of the greatest sports stories, the out of nowhere, he's an insurance salesman sitting in the stands, and all of a sudden he's a goalie in an NHL game. I didn't read the specifics of it. I'm guessing in a couple of seasons, they'll allow you to carry maybe a third goalie without it counting against roster spots,
Yeah.
and that would eliminate the need for an e-bug, which has been one of the greatest sports like little stories over the last 10, 15 years.
Isn't that extremely irresponsible?
I love it though. That's what makes it so great.
Yeah, it's
Because
silly.
it's like you talk about the relatability thing. I feel like in a pinch, if someone needed something at any professional athletic competition, in a pinch, I could run down there and do whatever you need for a couple plays, couple of whatevers.
Oh, you could get in that net and stop a puck from coming at you.
I think I could get to the net.
Fall
I'm
down
not
to
even
your
certain
knees.
that I could, but I think I could get to the net.
No, that's special.
Yeah.
You mean like before play starts? Just everybody
Like,
gets out
get
onto
from the bench to the net.
onto
Like
the
they
ice
put me they put me into the goalie uniform with all the
Right.
pads and whatever, and I would have to get to the net.
When's the last time you skated on ice?
Oh, I must have been it had to be maybe a 12-year-old's birthday party when I was 12. So 69, 79. I'm not kidding you.
67
Probably 81.
67
1981.
years ago.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
What? You don't think I could get from the bench to the net in goalie?
No.
You don't think I could just
Especially,
get there?
I don't think you could leave. I don't think you could leave the bench and make it to the net. There's no way.
I feel like we have an athletic challenge upon us right here. All I have to do is put on professional goalies, padding, stick, helmet, all that stuff,
and make it to the net
from the bench to the net.
That's it. And I'll put up whatever you want me to.
You haven't skated in 40 years, 50 years, maybe?
Yeah, why would I go ice skating?
I don't know. Isn't that like something you do with your with a kid? I mean, I know your son's way older, but when he was a little kid, you can take him to an ice skating ring.
We're in South Florida,
right?
Solana, I actually take my kids to the ice skating rink in Davie. There's one by CB Smith Park, and I just cheer them on from the side.
Yeah, but you have no knees. I mean,
and you think Hawk has hulking knees?
I'm the most athletic person on this show.
Yeah, he's the healthiest person on the show, man. What about like Rockefeller Center, Hawk? You go to the city during wintertime, a little romantic evening.
I've probably done Rockefeller Center, and I've probably done one of those lame cruise ship ice skating things, which isn't ice. It's just plastic made to look like ice.
Yeah.
But you know what? This is one of them times when I get on Solana's side and I'm scared because Solana really thinks he could play goalie. If he had to run the point for the Heat for a couple plays.
You can hear the way that he's talking about skating. He thinks he's an ice skater. Like, I can just tell the way that he's like, oh, what do you mean you've never been ice skating? You can tell that he thinks he's some sort of ice skating expert, and you can only imagine what would go on with him on the ice. You can only imagine.
Solana, what sports could you play at a high level, like at a professional level if they needed you?
Pre-ACL injury, I still think I would have taken John Crotty in a one-on-one.
Ridiculous.
The Panthers tonight, by the way, they have draft picks in selections in the 4th round, the 5th round, the 6th round, and the 7th round. They have nothing in the first 3 rounds. So that's the trade-off when you win a couple of cups and you traded away some of your draft picks for, I don't know, Brad Marchand. I don't even know if that was this year's pick or not. I don't know. I know they did end up trading a first-round pick for him, but yeah, I don't think there's any complaints coming out of Panthers Nation. 1 week from today is the Nathan's hot dog eating contest.
Yes.
And the return of Joey Chestnut. You know, we had a 1-year hiatus. They We're at Loggerheads, and they have figured it out. And George Shea, longtime friend of the show, and the commissioner of Major League Eating, and truly one of the greatest, if not the greatest, carnival barker in the history of the world. He's going to join us today to talk about the hot dog eating contest, which, again, 1 week from today, right? Isn't the 4th of July next Friday? Yeah. 1 week from today at Coney Island. George Shea will give us a little preview of what we can expect. We talked all week, or at least some of it, that Dmitry Kulikov from the Panthers was going to be at Palm Beach Autographs in Wellington tomorrow, and we started doing a contest, but the event was canceled. But there are other Panthers signing tomorrow at Palm Beach Autographs. I know AJ Greer is going to be there, and Sam Reinhart. Did you say someone else was going to be there, Solana?
Yeah, my doppelganger, Erod, Evan Rodriguez.
Evan Rodriguez will be there. So
yes,
you can get info at palmbeachautographs.com. I know a lot of people are still experiencing that Panthers elation right now. So if you're up in Wellington, the mall at Wellington Green, Palm Beach Autographs tomorrow, going to have a whole bunch of Panthers there. Let's begin today's show with headlines brought to you by Doral Hyundai. Choose from over 1,300 new Hyundai models in inventory, like the Tucson, Sonata, and Palisade. And remember, when it comes to Hyundai, the great deals are at Doral Hyundai.
Yeah, Erod actually replacing Kulikov in terms of the schedule. So for those of you who have been keeping track, Erod will be there. By the way, Hawk, really quickly before we get to headlines, just as an aside, you mentioned ice skating on a cruise. Bro, you guys have to watch on Netflix. It got released this week.
I know. I'm going to watch it this weekend. You watch it, Crowder?
I watched it already.
The Poop Cruise? Yes.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes.
The craziest thing I've ever seen in my life.
So I've looked at it a couple times on Netflix. I haven't pulled the trigger. And then this morning, I read an article about it in the Washington Post.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was 12 years already. I felt like it was more recent.
2013, man.
12 years. I read this article in the Washington Post detailing some of the stuff that they show in the documentary. So I've got that on my to-do list for the weekend.
You talk about like the year 2020, whatever it was. So it's 2020, 2013, 12 years ago, whatever. The survival mode kicks into human beings and they turn into crazy people. It
shows you how reliant we are on, like, we don't realize, just you lose electricity. You lose all the things we take for granted, which obviously is flushing a toilet.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want to talk about Lord of the Flies. Yeah. Like
exactly.
Yeah, you do anything you can not to be pooping in a bag, even if it means throwing other passengers overboard.
And I think that they could have dealt with it much differently.
Of course.
They weren't in the middle of Antarctica.
When you say they, you're talking about the Carnival Cruises, or are you talking about the passengers?
Talking about Carnival, I'm talking about the Coast Guard, I'm talking about everybody.
Of course.
They're not in the middle of the Pacific where no one gets to them. They're in the damn Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah,
couldn't you helicopter in some generators?
Well, no. So, I guess I don't want to spoil it, Crowder.
Yeah, I'm trying not to say too much. But what's crazy?
What we end up, we know this was that there was a series of fires on the Carnival ships that were all made on that line, like that specific line that came out. There was a series of fires, and most of the fires, what happened would be there's like 5 engines. One of them catches fire. The built-in like fire system would obviously turn down the fire, take out the fire, and then the other motors would be there and they would be fine. And they would get on with their cruise. Everything would be okay. Well, guess what? In this specific fire, the other engines weren't going to work either because all of the power cables from the motor room that power on the ship were burnt to a crisp. So it didn't matter that ship, but they couldn't find out. They couldn't find that out until the fire was done. And guess what? That was hours into the process, and they hadn't told anybody anything.
Couldn't they helicopter in or ship in porta potties and just line 25 porta potties? I mean, those decks are huge.
Yes, Huck. Or How about you just pull some big ass boats up, pile a bunch of people on, and drive them off the boat? Like, I'm sitting there the whole thing saying, like, I could figure this out with 3 beers and a couple boats. What are y'all doing?
But the bottom line is this the expenses that were incurred by Carnival on this is why they couldn't re-sign Mike Miller.
That's what it was.
Is that what it was?
Yeah.
That damn amnesty clause, man. Damn it.
LeBron would still be here. We'd be having 2 parades a year.
Watch it though. It blew my mind.
Watch it. I'm gonna
blew my mind.
Yeah, it was really, really good. But
because I don't like raw sewage.
You're gonna see some raw sewage.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Oh,
yeah.
You're gonna see
I don't like that. I'm not a fan of walking in poop, seeing poop. Like I'm not a fan of that.
Well, how about seeing people walk in poop barefoot? Do you like that?
And then you can't wash it off, right? Is there any functioning water?
No.
Yeah, I don't like that.
No electricity, food spoils.
Yeah.
No AC, no lights. Crazy.
Yeah, I don't like that. They still do bingo?
Still do bingo. Bingo's happening the whole time.
And you're fine.
The ice cream machine worked for the first 2 days as well. So, I mean,
how bad could it be?
You got poop bingo going on tonight at 8:30.
The funny part was that the lady pretty much said, we can't lower people onto the life rafts and into another cruise ship because it would just take too long. It's unreasonable. Oh, yeah, well, 4 days without power is actually better. Let's do that instead.
Yeah, how about we take a vote on this?
I would jump off the boat and climb into the little transport ship.
Well, no joke, Crowder.
We could have figured this out in 10 minutes on an Aperol Spritz.
Couldn't you just call? I mean, I guess they had no phone service, but couldn't you get word to someone? Like, I don't care about everybody else, but get me a chopper. I'll pay the cost. Like, I got to get off this thing.
Yeah.
I know Mike, the captain I fish with. I could have get him to come pick me up. No problem.
Right.
It's in the Gulf.
Or just at least bring you your poop bucket. Because you have your own,
When the other Carnival ship that brought them supplies came closer, and I'm pretty sure they held this out. I'm pretty sure the only thing the other Carnival ship brought them was more poop bags. I'm convinced. But when it comes so close, right? And Hawk, like, it's great because that ship comes close and everybody on the boat gets to the deck to try to connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. So they're showing these videos of thousands of people just standing there looking for bars.
It says in the Washington Post article, that's when the public at large became very aware of what was actually going on this cruise, because there had been no word of it until people were able to connect to relatives using their phones.
And it shows you how messed up it is that Carnival was just like, oh, no, like, well, we'll be fine. We'll be sailing within a couple hours. And then 18 hours later, they're like, oh, we can't sail. And now it's too late to get back to Mexico. Anyways, I don't want to spoil it, but
that's what you're going to get upset. You're going to get mad watching it, because I got mad watching it.
Crowder, when the other cruise ship is super close, you jump off. You're not dying there. Like, they're
jump off.
You
jump from one high-rise building to the next in New York. That's what people always go. I can jump from that building to the next.
I'm with Solana. Man overboard. They have a protocol. Come get me out of this water.
You're
onto the
flopping off something the size of a high-rise building. You're not on a dinghy.
I dive well.
People survive that all the time. All the time.
Also, all the time they don't.
You don't cannonball, you pencil.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of people who do like these like not mountain, but cliff divings. It's just on my algorithm for some reason. I know the trick. You throw a rock first. It disperses the water, and then you fall in right after. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So I think they're doing that off the cliffs, not to disperse the water. I think they're trying to see where their target is.
Nah.
You're jumping into an ocean. There's no, it's like you're not going to hit something other than water, right?
Man overboard if I was on that ship.
If you were jumping from a cliff, why would you try to disperse the water?
Because if not, the water's like it's a glass almost from that height. So you have to throw the rock so that the water, there's like a spot for you to land.
Is your algorithm damn dummy?
Who shares your algorithm? Chris Broussard?
Dummy.
All right, come on, do quick headlines because I want to have enough time with George Shea. You're giving me agita with the amount of movement you have there. Why are you constantly walking around?
What are you talking about?
You're up, you're down, you're looking for something. What is going on there?
He got that stinking little dog running around that room.
What is going on there? Why are you up and looking underneath yourself? And what is going on there?
Yeah, I'm throwing the tennis ball to my dog.
Oh my God!
I saw that little raggedy bastard earlier.
Yes, like a
Don't look at
kid
me.
like a kid that you need to put a helmet on in the school. You're like, well, listen, just wear this helmet, Billy. Trust it. This is like a baseball hat. It's like a baseball hat. I'm gonna put a little helmet on you.
Just don't look at me. Don't look at me this segment.
I wish I couldn't.
Solana, you still got your helmet from high school?
Listen, man, I put a lot of time and effort to get that Broussard algorithm.
You're still doing it, huh?
So.
You're gonna do this the whole show? You're gonna do that the whole show?
Hell with that little dog.
No, what's happening? Hawk, what's happening? What's happening is his ball is underneath the couch. He wants a different ball. And he's barking.
You're working.
Stop barking.
You're working.
I know.
You're working. Tell the dog go away. You're working.
At this point in time, he wants that. I'm just trying to get him not to interrupt the show by barking, which is what he's going to start to do.
Hey, pop him in the face.
Here he goes again.
Slap his face, and he's going to run off scared. And now, problem solved.
Look at this. I've never seen something like this at a work day.
Yeah, I'm actively trying not to interrupt what you
You're
guys are
actively
doing.
trying to do something other than the show.
I'm actively trying not to do that. I'm locked in. I'm ready to go.
I mean, I've seen those workout shows that used to be on ESPN with calisthenics with the less movement than what you've done for the first segment here on this show.
But I did bring up the Poop Cruise, which is a good conversation.
Good conversation.
Okay. The 4-year extension to the NHL CBA, what Hawk was talking about, just to wrap up headlines here, is going to begin in the 26-27 season, and it's expected to be announced this today at the draft in LA. By the way, the 84-game season and new caps on player contract length, which is pivotal, is part of the new CBA.
You working out, Hawk?
Oh, just moving around. Nothing annoying about that, is there? I'm just getting some calisthenics in.
Stretching is important.
To finish out the headlines, Kasparis Jakučionis, he's here, by the way, and he met with media. We can talk a little bit about some of his quotes a little bit later. Sunday, Inter Miami will play PSG on Sunday in Atlanta.
All right.
They don't have a chance, do they?
They're plus 1,100.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, that's all I need to know.
All right, guys, your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm. Call them 866-954-MORE, youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7. Right now in South Florida, it is partly cloudy.
What are you doing?
Right now in South Florida, it is partly cloudy. Tonight, the lows are going to drop into the 80s, low 80s. It is very, very hot in Miami.
What's going on there? What's that noise? What is that? The dog, or is that just other people in your house?
He is. I'm going to get this situation under control. I never have this issue, but for some reason, there's something there. There could be like a snake under my couch. He could be trying to protect me, save me.
I mean, this is just impossible. Like I've never witnessed something like this before from a professional broadcaster. You put the guy's name on the show, and then all of a sudden, he hires himself out as like a dog walker during the show. Like the 4 hours, 4 sacred hours. You put your 4 hours in, you do the show. You don't let other things get to you. He's this way, that way. He's mopping the floors. He's got Fabuloso out. He's gonna be doing the toilets. Like, what are we doing here?
Can't you put the dog in the bathroom?
No, I mean, I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to put him in the crate. He'll be okay. But for some reason, right now, there's something that is he could be saving my life, and you're hating on him, right?
He said that goofy crap a second ago. He's not saving nothing. He's bad, and he doesn't know what's going on, and you need to put him in somewhere.
Bad. He's not bad. He found something, and he's trying to let me know.
A dust bunny. He found a dust bunny.
George Shea from Major League Eating, the commissioner of Major League Eating. In 1 week, it's the Nathan's Hot Dog Eating Contest. It's one of my favorite summertime events. This is when it, really hits you. There's nothing to talk about. George Shea is going to join us in the next segment.